Evolution? It is a mystery. It's just that you choose to deny it. And the world is spherical. It's not flat, even if you say it is. The sun is 93 million miles away. Who knew? Who knew? Hello and welcome. I am your man, Shed Andy P. Thank you so much for watching. So we are looking at Genesis. So far we have seen the whole of creation, allegedly. Adam and Eve, the murder of their son. I almost forgot the talking servant, because that obviously happened. And we learned about the descendants of Adam until we get to Noah. He was a carpenter who built a giant ship to save all species along with his family. Then after that horrific flood caused by God, because he was upset by evil women, destroyed everything. As in, wiped it out. Got every species on board, then sailed the boat, keeping every species alive somehow. Yet, people actually believe this. Evolution, that can't be real, but this boat can. Anyway, we now have seen Abraham and Lot's part. We will rejoin Lots later for his story, which is a graphic one. Anyway, let's get on with this. Before we start, apologise for the pronunciations here. There's a lot of pronunciations and I'm going to mess most of them up. So the book of Genesis, chapter 14. Let's go. In the day of kings, Aphrael of Sinnar, King Angosh, and Asalah, king of Chedorlaomer, and Evron, the king of Tidal of Choraim. Now I'm not being funny, Bible. You know, I do this because it's a bit of fun and also to sort of understand where creationists and flat earthers get their weird ideas from. And I know it was written Hebrew, and you know, it was a different time. This was written 6,000 years ago. But none of these names make any bloody sense. I can't even read half of the bloody words. So sort yourself out now. You've been told. Okay? Let's continue. These kings made war with King Bera of Sodom, King Berish of Gromash, King Chinab of Adram, King Shemba of Zolam, and the king of Beta, that is Zor. Because those words were any easier to read out, weren't they? Like, I'm already 2.5 minutes on and I've only done 2 lines in the Bible. This is going to be good fun. So let's carry on. All these joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is the Dead Sea. Now, 20 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. It's good to have the sides spelled out. Yet no reason as to why these forces were fighting. Guess it was the past. Not that that's any different nowadays, really. Just look at most places in the world. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and subdued the Rephaim in Astarolith, Canaan, and Zulun in Ham, and Emin in Sharia. I really, you know, some of this is very complicated to read, but basically this is where they went and they subdued these certain lands and all that. And the Horites in the hill country of Seri as far as Al Paran on the edges of the wilderness. So I guess that bit was a bit rugged. Then they turned back and came to El Mizpath, that is Kadesh, and subdued all the country of the Amalekites and also the Aratites who lived in Hazon Tamar. Now for me there's a few different groups there. So we've got the Amalekites and the Amalekites. They're a bit too similar sounding, if you know what I mean. Like, could you not have made up a few more words here? Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Abraham, the king of Zeboni, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, went out and they joined a battle in the valley of Siddim, Again, can you just say the kings went to war? With King Chedorlaomer and Elpham, and King Tidal of Gomi, and King Abiram of Shinar, and King Agron of Etalar. 4 kings against 5. Great, who cares? Now the valley of Sidon was full of bitumen pits. As the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some fell into them, and the rest fled to the hill country. Well, you gotta get out somehow. So the enemy took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions, and they went on their way, because why wouldn't you steal off the poor? Because that's what they're there for, to be stolen off. They also took Lot, the son of Abraham's brother, who lived in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. So does this now mean all his livestock which he had, his gold and his silver, maybe his 2 daughters? We know that didn't happen. If it did, they come back to him. Spoiler. But did they steal all that? And he was now relatively poor. Then one who had escaped came and told Abraham, the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Amorim in the Amitite, brother of Eshcol and of Aunah. These were the allies of Abraham. So Abraham knew that they had stolen from Lot. Well, Abraham is going to get pissed. Let's see what happens then. When Abraham heard that his nephew had been taken captive, he led forth his trained men, born in his house, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. Finally, a place I can actually name. And its name is Dan, allegedly. Well, bit of a strange name there, but hey, I'll take it. He divided his forces against them by night, and then his servants and routed them and pursued them to Hobath, north of Damascus, actual place I've heard of in Syria. Then he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his nephew Lot with his goods and the women and the people. So they did take Lot and his girls and his wife, but they all came back, so it's all good. As we're going to find out, maybe not. After his return from the defeat of the Chebanoah and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Zangar. That is the King's Valley. Well, how exciting. And King, oh my word, they've got an even more complicated name now. Apologise for the butchering of this one. So this line says, and King Meshazadek of Salem brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High. Yeah, of course he was. He blessed him and said, blessed be Abraham by God's Most High, maker of heaven and earth. Oh yes, of course God made heaven and earth, because how could it be created in a Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago? Never mind. Anyway, let's carry on with the Bible. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And Abraham gave him 1/10 of everything. So he'd done pretty well then, because apparently Abraham was extremely rich. He had lots of gold and silver and lots of livestock. So I guess 1/10 of that had gone, and maybe he took lots as well. Who knows? Then the king of Sodom said to Abraham, give me the person, but take the goods for yourself. What? So let me get that. Give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself. Then the king of Sodom said to Abraham, give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself. So I guess he just wanted to take them as slaves, and I guess. I'm not really sure. But Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have sworn to the Lord, God Most High, maker of heavens and earth. Okay, so I guess he's got a right here to say no, because he has sworn something to God, that I would not take a thread or a sandal from, or anything that is yours, so that you might not say I have made Abraham rich. So yeah, good on Abraham there. He's basically saying, yeah, you know what? I would not take a thread or sandal from, or anything that is yours, so that You might not say I am. So yeah, so he's basically saying, I'm not going to make you rich. I'm going to not allow you to, I don't know. I don't really understand that line. Anyway, let's carry on. I will take nothing but what the young men have eaten and the share of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Marie. Let them take their share. Okay, so it seems here then that Abraham is allowing his servants, his workers, his team to become rich, whereas he doesn't need it because the Lord has already made him rich, because of course he has. So, bit of a battle there. Probably lots of bloodshed really in there, but they didn't go too graphic into it this time. Makes a change. Which is nice, because we don't want it to become, we don't want people to think that the actual Bible is a gore fest now, do we? Because that would be tragic. Anyway, this has been chapter 14 from Off of the Bible. Forgot to do too much writing on that one, so I had to go a bit off the old top of the nolly. Hope it was okay. I'm sure it was amazing, because it was, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so we will be moving on to chapter 15. I will start doing it a little bit more regularly, because it's going to take a while to get through, and I want to get these done fairly soon, because I'm quite enjoying the reading of it. I'm going to do a little bit of work to actually understand the story a bit, but these are pretty much, I write to them, but this is pretty much the first time I've read it, so I'm just trying to guess what it means really. But there you go. This has been your Man in the Shed. Thank you so much for watching, and see ya, pals.